Hello, everybody. Hope everybody's doing great today. Today, we talk about Demon Slayer, Infinity Castle. And while this movie does have some jaw-dropping action scenes and stunning animation, it also is weighed down by one of the biggest problems in anime storytelling, and maybe just in general modern storytelling, and it's too much villain backstory. But hey, let's get into this movie. This film picks up right after the last season of Demon Slayer. The Demon Slayers are now trapped in an alternate universe, or let's say dimension, and it's the Infinity Castle. For the final showdown against the demons, it's an exciting setup, and on paper, it should have been one of the best entries in the series. But let's get to the good parts, and then we'll get to the latter parts, which kind of brings you down. So I'm going to get you high today, and then leave you all depressed. What do you think about that? Anyways, so the first is the positives. The animation is incredible. The scenery really comes alive. The water looks like real water. You really get immersed into this universe that the creators created. But in the fight, sorry, looking at my notes here, the fight scenes are just as strong as ever. Classic Demon Slayer action, flashy swordplay, elemental effects, fluid motion. You can pause almost any frames and it looks like artwork, like the best you've seen. Another thing this movie does really well is keeping the stakes high. Main character deaths, injuries, you really can feel the impact of the blows that these characters receive, which really brings in the tension. Are they going to survive? For somebody like me, I've only seen the animated series. I haven't read the manga, so everything is fresh to me. I don't know what's going to happen next. I got a few ideas because I've heard stuff, but I don't really know the total arc. And watching this, you really feel the peril that these that our heroes are facing while they're fighting the demons. Sorry. The problems, though, but here's where the movie kind of stumbles. The pacing of Demon Slayer is always cut away from battles to show like backstories of characters, either the heroes or the demons. And, it's kind of what you expect when watching Demon Slayer. But sometimes it works and sometimes it don't. In Infinity Castle, let's just say they take this backstory storytelling to another level. The film runs about 2.5 hours. At least an hour, maybe more, is all about flashbacks. And the problem isn't that it exists, it's that they completely kill the momentum of the battle. You'll be in the middle of an incredible fight, and then suddenly you're stuck in a 20-minute flashback about a demonic child, like demonic child. Sorry, let me get this out here. A childhood of a demon or their past that made them turn into a demon and do the things that they want to. It really bores down to storytelling. The last hour of the movie, where we get the final fight between Tanjiro and Upper 3, I believe it is. And of course, Tanjiro's mentor. They're battling out, and then we get like a good 30 to 40 minute backstory of the Upper 3, what his life was before he became a demon. And it's almost like watching a movie within a movie. It really kills the experience of the movie. Really, to me, bogs down what they have built at that point. The movie starts off with a great fight, scene, and it doesn't really finish. And you keep figuring as a viewer that they're going to return to it eventually in the movie. But then you have this 40-minute backstory, and then in the movie, the fight, the first big battle fight at the beginning of the movie never gets finished. It leaves you off on a cliffhanger, and it leaves you wondering, why did I spend 30 to 40 minutes watching the backstory of a demon, of this character I don't even care about? I don't care why this demon became a demon. I don't care about his previous life. I just want the dude to die. Instead, it gets stuck in this, and then, the battle that you really care about doesn't get finished. It's really, really disappointing in that sense. And to me, it kind of kills the movie. If they would cut off the backstories, they could have really had more battle scenes. They probably could have finished the series, to be honest. but you know, you gotta get more. You gotta get that more moolah, right? You gotta get another season of Demon Slayer out there. So, anyways, overall, Demon Slayer Infinity Castle has the bones of a great movie. Like I said, you will be. The animation is top tier. The fights are brutal, and the stakes are really high. And they really make you feel it. But the uneven pacing in the overload of flashbacks turn what could have been an instant classic to a frustrating mixed bag. You'll love it at one moment, and then you'll be like stuck into some flashback you don't care nothing about. If you love the series, it's still worth watching though, especially on the big screen. But just be ready to sit through a lot of backstories when you really just want to see more sword fights and get the story moving along. So that's my take. What do you think of Infinity Castle? Did you enjoy it? Do you agree with me there's too many backstories? Or do you think the backstories were necessary? To me, you know, I didn't really mind the backstories, but, you know, could we at least keep these flashbacks to like maybe 3 to 5 minutes? A whole 40-minute flashback about a character that you don't even care about is a little bit of an overkill. And that's my story, and that's what I'm sticking to it. So, adios. Until next time, have a great day. Bye-bye.